All right, so we want to find the domain, the x-intercepts if there are any, and any discontinuities if there are any, and the y-intercept. So first we need to factor the denominator here. We've got a cubic, and it's probably going to be this is going to be a factor by grouping here. So we'll have x minus 3 on top still. And then we're going to factor an x squared out of the first two terms. That'll be a 3x plus 5. And on the next two terms, we'll factor out a negative 9. That'll make this a 3x. And 9 times 5 will give us our 45. All right, now both terms have a 3x plus 5. So we'll factor out a 3x plus 5. Okay, that's going to give us an x squared minus 9. All right, the x squared minus 9 is a difference of squares, so we can factor that. We'll have x minus 3 over 3x plus 5. This will be x minus 3 and x plus 3. All right, so if we were looking for our domain, it's going to be all real numbers except for positive 3, negative 3, and then whatever makes that 0, which is going to be negative 5 over 3. So it'd be all real numbers except for negative 5/3, positive 3, and negative 3. These are the numbers that make the denominator be driven to 0. All right, so they are not included in our domain. And I'm not going to include the interval notation here because there's way too many. All right, our x-intercepts. Notice the only thing that would give us an x-intercept is if the numerator would equal 3, but because there's a factor in the denominator that is the same, those would cancel, and well, basically you get a hole in the graph. All right, because there's a shared factor in the numerator and the denominator, you're going to wind up with a discontinuity at x equal 3. So we'll have a discontinuity at x equal 3. So no x-intercepts. All right, that was our only hope for having an x-intercept was 3, but because we have a discontinuity there, there will not be one. And then our y-intercept, we would just plug in 0 for x. I think that'll be easier up here. That'll give us a negative 3 on top and a negative 45 on the bottom. We can divide both by 3, so that's going to be a positive 1 over 15 for our y-intercept. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the graph. All right, I've got it in factored form here, well, except for the x squared minus 9 part. See, if you look here, if you're looking for an x-intercept, it's not quite reaching the 0 here, so it's getting close to it. No x-intercepts here, and same thing on this side, no x-intercepts. Our domain looks like it's blowing up here. That would be at negative 3. Okay, you see it's negative 3, it's getting closer, but it's blowing up. And here, this one is where it's approaching negative 5/3. It's trying to get to negative 5/3 that way, but it's blowing up. And at x equal 3, that was our discontinuity. So if we look there, there you go. At positive 3 is undefined, and we wind up with a hole in our graph. Okay.